the mountain, hear my banjo tell. Got my Russians on my back, my powder it is dry. I'm going across the mountain, darling, don't you cry. Well, hey everybody, that's a little bit of Going Across the Mountain. People have wrote in wanting to learn that piece, so I figured I'd jump right into it. I also had some requests for more two-finger picking, so we're going to go through this two-finger thumb lead style. If you're not comfortable with that, just remember, I mentioned in earlier videos, my video entitled Basic Introduction to Two-Finger Picking, that the pattern and the rhythm that I use is basically the same as with the straight overhand style or a clawhammer style. So you could probably you can figure out what we're doing if you play clawhammer and you're not comfortable with two-finger yet. So stick around, we'll help you out. So this is, everybody knows this song from Mr. Frank Proffitt, who lived in the community of Reese in Watauga County, North Carolina. I actually did not learn this song from the famous recording of Mr. Proffitt. I learned it from a young, very talented banjo player from Wilkes and Watauga counties named Josh Hayes. He was the first person I ever heard play this. Anyhow, I don't really play it the way Josh or Frank played it. I kind of came up with my own way, so just beware. So we're in standard G tuning, and I used my handy tuner here, guys, and so you know exactly where I'm at. I'm one full step lower than standard G tuning. So basically what I've done is I've run my two G strings down to where they're Fs, and then retuned the other strings accordingly. So I'm actually in... This is a good simple song. That's great for beginners. So now that we're in standard G tuning there, drop one full step. How do we play the song? Well, it comes off of the bass string open. Going across the mountain, oh fare thee well. I'm going across the mountain, hear my banjo tell. And then that's it. That little melody repeats itself over and over again. So you start off on the bass string open, and then you're going to note the bass string at the second fret. And then the third string open. And then we're sliding down from the second fret on the third string to the fourth fret. Oh, sorry. Well, first you're going to note at the second fret there. And here is where you can throw in, oh, fare thee well. You can throw in this full D chord shape. My index finger is on the third string at the second fret, and my ring finger is on the second string at the second fret. You don't have to do any of these chords, guys, and I don't think Frank Proffitt used any chording like this either. It's usually more old-timey not to chord, but for a fuller sound for modern audiences on a relatively modern instrument like this, I figure why not. So, oh, fare thee well, and then you're going to slide down. I'm going across the mountain, and next chord, hear my banjo tell. Back to the G open. Having a little trouble with that string for some reason. So that's how you do it. The second chord that I use there is my middle finger is on the bass string at the second fret, and my ring finger is on the little first string at the second fret. That gives you this neat minor chord. A lot of these old mountain songs are just a couple of chords, and a lot of times it's just this open chord and then this. So that's pretty common. So basically all we're doing here is, that's kind of the flavor of the song, you might say. So let me run through it one time slow for y'all, and I'll just do the real basic, you know. See how I end on the bass on the first time around? On the second time around, I'll end on the third string. That's all there is to it, guys. I'm going across the mountain, join the boys in blue. When the war is over, I'll return to you. I'll return to you, babe. I'll return to you. When this war is over, I'll return to you. That's all there is to it, guys. Now, if you want to see me do it standard overhand style, let's try that. There's nothing to it, guys. Fun little song. Alright, well, let me know if you guys want to see any more on that. I thought that would be a nice, easy one to throw out there for maybe some of our beginners, or really for anybody. And it's a beautiful example of what I think is a very early banjo song. Like I said, I think that's a relic of the 18th century at least. And if you want to hear some of those other ones, I mentioned the version Green Icy Mountain is pretty obscure. That's by another Kentuckian named Daw Henson, D-A-W Henson, on guitar. And he's saying he's going across that green icy mountain. Look up George Gibson and Matt Kenman. They play Cold Icy Mountain. Matt learned that from George. And George will usually mention that it's a very early song. And then look up, the Carter family, I believe, did the nice, very straight across the Blue Ridge Mountain. I'm bound across the Blue Ridge Mountain. That's a member of the same family of songs. And also on Art Rosenbaum's collection of North Georgia folk music field recordings. Oh, I forget the actual title of that album, but it's not hard to find. Look for Art Rosenbaum's. It's a 2-disc set of his field recordings around North Georgia. And there is, he recorded an elderly black gentleman, I forget his name, just singing out in a field, unaccompanied, and he sings about how he's going across the Blue Ridge Mountain. And I do believe that is an example of another example of a song in this family. So, all right, guys, that's all the time we need to spend on that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your questions, your suggestions, and your contributions.